8.3 is on microorganisms and viruses. So in this video, we are looking at a few types of microorganisms: bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi, and viruses. Each of these microorganisms is under their respective kingdom, except viruses. They are not in any of the kingdom because they are not cellular organisms. They are actually non-living particles. Okay, microorganisms, micro means very small. That means these organisms cannot be seen by naked eye, can only be observed under microscope. And most of them are unicellular. Okay, so first one is bacteria. We are going to look at the main characteristics. They do not have nucleus due to the lack of nuclear membranes, which means they are prokaryote. Their genetic materials exist in free form of chromosomal thread. As you can see right here, they are called the nucleoid, free floating in the cytoplasm. There is also plasmid. Okay, what is plasmid? Plasmid is the small DNA molecules that carry extra genes. The range of bacteria is from 1 to 10 micrometer long, can exist as single cell, a diploid, or a pair, in filaments, chains, or even clusters ataupun kelompok. So this bacteria can be divided, they can exist in few basic shapes. Ada bentuk dia. Okay, so here you can see coccus bentuk dia bulat, sphere, vibrio ni bentuk koma, spirillum ini bentuk spiral, and bacillus ini adalah bentuk cone ataupun cylinder. Okay, so this is the general structure of a bacterium, having flagellum. Okay, the capsule, cell wall, and plasma membrane is also present. This is the ribosome. Okay, so examples of bacteria daripada namanya Lactobacillus species, contohnya, we know that this bacteria is in the form of rod shape, cylinder shape. Kalau Streptococcus species ataupun Staphylococcus aureus, we know that these two bacteria is in a sphere shape. As you can see here, this is the photograph of Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, next one, let's look at protozoa. The main characteristics, they are animal-like unicellular microorganisms. Animal-like, macam haiwan. Unicellular, they're unicellular, and they can move around using pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. Podium here refers to feet. So like this is the picture of amoeba species that you can see it is able to move around using these false feet. Or cilia, okay, like here shown the cilia of the paramecium, rambut bagi paramecium ini, and another one is the flagellum, is like a tail of the euglena. Okay, protozoa, usually they are found in aquatic habitats. So this is the habitat of the protozoa. Okay, they are heterotrophs or autotrophs. Ini cara pemakanan dia. Okay, for example, Euglena species ini, it is an autotrophic protozoa, which means they are able to carry out photosynthesis because of the presence of chloroplast. Therefore, they can synthesize their own food. Okay, if this protozoa can be free living or parasitic, which means they need a host lah. They are staying in the host. Okay, kalau algae, the main characteristics consist of unicellular microorganisms. Kita ada Chlamydomonas species, and also multicellular organisms, like this brown algae, that's the Fucus species. Okay, so some algae, they have flagellum to move in the water. Like plants, okay, algae ini is very linked ataupun very related to greens, which means they have chloroplast and therefore they are autotrophs. They can synthesize their own food, but they do not have leaf stems or roots like the plants lah, like all the plants that the rest of the plants do. and they live in ponds, lakes, and also ocean. Okay, last one is fungi, where the main characteristics is that they do not contain chlorophyll. Yang ini bukan greens ini. So, thus fungi are heterotrophs. Maksudnya dia orang ni bukan autotrophs, heterotrophs, whether it's parasites yang stay dekat living host or the saprophytes that feeds on dead decaying matter. They do not have roots, stems ataupun leaves, but they do have cell walls, but the cell walls are created by chitin. Okay, sudah lupa chitin, you have to go back and look at this slide. Chitin, iaitu the fibrous substance containing polysaccharides, which is the major constituent of the cell walls of the fungi. Okay, so fungi exist in the form of mycelium, which is made up of threads of hyphae. Kita ada network di sini, hyphae, and then ada mycelium. They are unicellular or multicellular organisms. Kalau unicellular, the common examples is yeast. Yeast. Kalau multicellular, mucous species. Mucous species. So that's the sporangium. Within the sporangium adalah spora ataupun the spores lah. Okay, where are they found? They are found in dark and moist places and on decomposing or dead organisms because they are the saprophytes. Okay, so still we have another one which is the virus. Dia punya main characteristics, they are not included in any of the kingdom because they are not cellular organisms. They do not carry out any life processes outside of a cell. That means untuk mereka survive, the virus has to be in a living cell. Nonetheless, the viruses reproduce using living cells by mereka pakai living cells ataupun the host ini by injecting their genetic materials into the host cell. Okay, so apa yang membentuk virus sebenarnya adalah nucleic acid. Okay, nucleic acid which consists of whether it's DNA or ataupun RNA lah. Okay, and the capsids made from protein. Okay, jadi ini adalah struktur bagi virus. The size of the virus is too small, 20 nanometer to 400 nanometer, which means they cannot even be seen under the light microscope, can only be seen using electron microscope. Okay, so example of virus given here is tobacco mosaic virus, T4 bacteriophage, and HIV. Okay, dan juga yang kita sekarang ni paling kenal, that's the COVID virus itu kan. Okay, so this is T4 bacteriophage and also the HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. Just now we mentioned that what makes up a virus is that diorang ada nucleotide yang sama ada terdiri daripada DNA ataupun RNA, and there's capsid yang enclosing ataupun surrounding this RNA. So apa itu capsid? It's actually a protein code lah. The protein shell of a virus particle surrounding its nucleic acid. Okay,